the first thing they're going to see now, we think about this big photo wall, cool. Yeah. Their attention goes there. This big, like a reason to like write things down or do something. And it gets people involved. It distracts them from the little things in the house that may or may not be right. It's a rental. Every house has little pieces of it that aren't perfect for whatever reason. Let's distract that and make it about the experience at the house, not about if we missed sweeping the corner, right? Like, let's make sure that's part of it.
You ever considered buying a rental or investment property at the Lake of the Ozarks, or maybe converting your property into an investment property or renting it out? Well, I'm considering buying one at a property here that you've probably seen a previous video on our channels for. And the one step that I take before I consider writing an offer is having a meeting with Zach Vavak with Grand Welcome, who would be the short-term rental company, management company for any investment properties that we purchase. And so what we do is we basically do a walkthrough like you would do with a real estate agent. However, I want the opinion of the company and the person who's going to be managing it, because ultimately they're going to know, A, what should we do to the property, B, what kind of condition is it currently in that might need to be updated, and C, will it rent all year long? Can we rent it 365, not just during the summer, things like that. And so I'm going to take you through on a walkthrough with Zach so you can see what kind of questions and what kind of things he's pointing out to me that I may not have noticed as we consider writing an offer on a property like this. So let's go inside and check it out. My man.
What's up, man?
Making yourself comfortable there, aren't you?
Hey, cool place.
So we are in 595 Walhalla, and this is a 2-bedroom,
Yep.
1.5 bath. It's on the 9-mile marker of the Big Niangua as a 3-well dock, which is really cool. But Zach, let's start on the inside, because I know we've walked this already. So now we're basically going to show our audience what it is you're pointing out to me, the things you're pointing out to me on if this would be a good rental. So where do you want to start? Let's start right here in the living room.
Yeah, so let's talk about the basic mentality that I'm going through in these sessions. The caveat here is like my job is to find all the holes in the property first. And it's not that the property's bad or good, only that I have to find the holes so that I can inform you of those before you buy them to make sure you know what you're getting into from a rental property perspective, right? The 3 things I'm looking for. First thing I've done before we even showed up, location and the projection on the house. So if the projection doesn't make sense and location's not good, we don't even show up, right? So that passed. Phenomenal place there. Secondly, what's the condition of the home? What does it look like? What things are you going to have to do? You're buying this house. Is everything staying or is everything going? I don't worry as much about the decor because that can be changed anytime and you can update that. Mm-hmm. I'm worried more about the condition of the things that are staying and what you're going to have to do so you know what that looks like. And then the third and final thing is what's the sleeping arrangement look like? And then thinking about it from a guest perspective. You got to remember, most people look through their lens, their eye, their experience, what they're willing to do. My job is to say, hey, this is how a guest is going to think about that. So that's what we want to do here with you as we walk through that together.
Cool.
All right. So start in the living room.
Yep.
First thing I see is a ton of cool decor. Obviously, the house has been renovated recently, which is awesome. And the walls are the perfect color. So if you're looking to buy a house, you don't want to come in and have to paint everything. You can, but this one's definitely ready to do that, which is awesome. A lot of money. Look at the lighting and the fixtures. The next thing I'm really looking for is, how are the fans? When you turn them on, do they wobble and wiggle, or are they pretty stable in what they do? The lighting is great. There's plenty of light in here, and you have these awesome sliders with this big light coming in right now, which really can help you long term. Things like energy savings and those types of things. That all that light coming in really helps to show off the house and sell it. And it's photo ready, meaning we can come in here and take photos with Jack, and he's not gonna have to change anything. The lighting's really good. There's not a lot of work to do to rearrange things today as it sits. That really helps cut down on time to onboard and time of cost to you to get it going. This is a pull-out couch, which is awesome because as you'll see as we go through the house, for a 2-bedroom, a pull-out can either make you or break you. Mm-hmm. And if it's not big enough and you have a pull-out, then you may never use it. If it's if you ever want to change bed arrangements or move things around, that pull-out gives you that option. You don't have to put it in the listing, but it's always a good thing to just have in case you need it. Secondly, let's think about the decor here. I personally am a huge hunter and fisherman, so I love all the decor. But I'll tell you, this taxidermy stuff over time is going to get touched and degrade. It has to be taken care of. And so I wouldn't recommend leaving your taxidermy in a place. Now, obviously, I think the seller's taking this taxidermy, so we'll have to change that up. Yep. But I love the theme. When these things come off the walls, we should think about how do we match the theme without it being, expensive taxidermy on the wall. Instead, we could do things like photos of, big fish you've caught off the lake. I'd highly, highly recommend going out to the dock, doing some fishing and catching it and just taking a photo. Mm-hmm. Like things that about the house that people want to see when they get here is like Am I excited about fishing off the dock? Well, if you've got a photo catching
of a big catfish that somebody caught literally on that dock, I think
right,
that's a great idea.
it's phenomenal pieces.
Now you mentioned another idea too that I think a rental owner would love to know. You mentioned putting it on this wall right here. So obviously these fish are going to go.
Yep.
What was your idea? Explain your idea again.
So they make these big photo trees that you like slip a photo in. They have little rings. I would 100% buy the biggest one I could get on this wall. I'd put it right here, and I'd leave a Polaroid camera, like a little one. They're super popular. And maybe a couple Polaroids. Yes, the Polaroids are expensive. The cameras aren't too bad. But here's the experience of that, right? We put on the wall instructions on how to use it, and then it'll say...
It's like our guest book.
It's your guest book, right. So they take the photo, they print it out, they sign it, they stick it in the tree. At the end of the season, the cool thing for you as a homeowner is you can take all those and we could actually create a book, like a slip-in with all the things, and then you have this book with all these signed photos every year, and you put 25 season, boom, there it is.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
It's cool, right?
And then you leave them displayed all season until the end of the season, then you start over again.
Correct.
I love it.
When you can involve a guest in your experience, it is going to totally blow up. People love it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I see here. Everyone loves these fireplaces.
This is cool, isn't it?
It's super awesome. And look, when we take photos of this, it's going to shine and people are going to love it.
But not for a rental.
No, it's terrible because it's a wood burning stove, which means essentially you're expecting people to know how to use it. Yes, we could leave instructions. Yes, we could do it. But I'm guaranteeing your insurance company is not going to like that, Jeff.
Yeah.
So here's what I would do. I would leave it from a photo perspective until you wanted to change it.
So an aesthetic perspective, it's like a decoration.
Absolutely. I would probably tack this closed. It's a simple weld tack. And there's a sign that says, do not use.
Not operable.
Yes. And we'll put that in the listing as well. But you got to remember, these flumes have to be cleaned every year. You have to take care of and maintain them. Yeah. They're major fire hazards if you don't know how to use them, which is why I just tell people don't do that.
So it's like if you're owner occupying this, keep it, use it, but renting it, hell no.
Hell no, I would never do that.
So now in lieu of that, would you put like one of those electric fireplaces that you just plug into a wall on the wall, like here on this wall, or maybe you'd make an adjustment with the...
I think so.
Just for an aesthetic, or is it even necessary?
Yeah, I think it's cool. Think about the cabin feel right now in October.
Yeah.
I think you need it and would want it. If it were me, I'd probably take this out.
Hang the TV.
Yep, and I'd hang the TV because that's going to be gone, and I'd hang that electric fireplace.
Put a TV where the deer is. Put a fireplace right here on the wall.
Yeah, the other thing I would do, and I recommend this to all rentals, by the way. If you're going to hang the TV, go ahead and run HDMI cables from the back down into like one of the, either a box on the wall with the HDMI or like a hole with the hordes hanging. It looks better with the boxes where they can plug them in. The reason is like when you're going to slim mount this TV on this wall, there's no need for you to have a big swinging TV. There's just absolutely zero need for it. So slim hang this, make it fit flush on the wall, and then run those cables so that they don't have to get behind it. It's also super easy when we show up to like flip the property. People are going to put their, like this has got a switch on it right now. They're going to put their gaming systems on these TVs. They just are. And so it's better to have it easily accessible for them as opposed to making them like pull the TV out and do all that. It's just a way better experience for everybody.
Gotcha.
Yep.
People bring their gaming systems on vacation?
Oh my gosh, yes. If I could explain to you, this year alone, we've had 2 Xboxes left and 2 PS5s.
Wow.
I mean, we shipped them back, obviously, but those are expensive things. But people leave them and they play their games on them. And so you should just make it easy for them. Remember, from a guest perspective, you want everything to be easy. You want it to be so easy there doesn't need to be a rule. It's just easy to use.
Awesome. Where to next, kitchen?
Let's go to the kitchen.
Okay.
Okay, so we talked about this too. Let's start right here on this wall. So as you think about the decor, getting the guest involved, one of my recommendations would be take this, move it. It's a great thing. I would even take this and like pinpoint where we are on the lake on this.
Yeah.
I might even like take this and circle places on the lake that you'd want to go see. Just something that they can look at besides just a map.
Yeah.
Right? What does it mean? So I'd move that. I would actually frame this out with a border like this. I'd put chalk paint or whiteboard paint. Probably chalk paint's better. Little tray, little chalk. I'd definitely draw like welcome to our lake house or whatever, and then write a message on there, right? What should the next guest know? What was your favorite part about the house?
Things to do in October or whatever month it is.
You could put your schedule on there.
Yeah.
Follow Lake of the Ozarks lifestyle,
Course, yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
Like, do that because people, again, when they walk in this house, the first thing they're going to see now, we think about this big photo wall, cool.
Yeah.
Their attention goes there. This big, like a reason to like write things down or do something. And it gets people involved. It distracts them from the little things in the house that may or may not be right. It's a rental. Every house has little pieces of it that aren't perfect for whatever reason. Let's distract that and make it about the experience at the house, not about if we missed sweeping the corner, right? Like, let's make sure that's part of it.
Now, before we go in there, you did mention this.
Yeah.
this railing.
So you can see this railing's loose. It's not loose in terms of like safety, right? This is not really a safety
inspector
feature.
is not necessarily going to cite that.
I probably wouldn't if I was an inspector, but what I might say is it's only held in there by 2 nails at the bottom, right? So all these, if it's your house you're staying in, that's fine, right? You know. If I was going to do this with guests, I would definitely put a stronger post up. I would brace this around. I love the style of it, but you definitely want to brace this because every Tom, Dick, and Harry is going to lean on this. Their kids are going to lean on this. They're going to grab it.
A few cold bush lattes too.
Correct. So let's brace it up. Let's just not even deal with if it comes off. So obviously the kitchen's been updated, which is phenomenal. One of the things about this house that I love is the minimal styling that's in here. And so you go, what do you mean by that? Well, there's not 50 million photos on the wall, right? There's a couple things. They're kind of eclectic. They're kind of neat. The lighting is super fresh and updated, which is awesome. This table is super unique and cool. These little things like this, you don't need a bunch of photos on the wall to make it homey, right? This seems like home. So I would keep this style, minimal, but decorated. And that's a really hard thing to get right. But whoever designed this did a phenomenal job doing that. I love the coffee maker, 100%. It's got both the Keurig style and the big pot. You want that, 100%. The sink is really neat. It's a single sink, but it's a deep well sink. With this small dishwasher, a big sink really makes a difference. It's cool that they even have a dishwasher, to be honest. This table is perfect for this space. It's got 5 chairs. The one thing I would add is probably another chair if you got 6. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So when you're sitting down to eat, everyone needs a place at the table.
Yep.
So that's one thing I would say. Washer and dryer, super big thing in a small house. It seems like it wouldn't be a big deal, but it is. A lot of folks opt to take these out in rentals for the space, for like linen closets, that kind of stuff. I would leave it in. People will use it. Although our laundry team doesn't use washers and dryers for anything, we always do everything off-site. Guests will definitely want to use it, and these are easy to maintain and keep up. So
this is bedroom number. This is the second bedroom, not the master technically, and they've got it currently set up with a bunk bed, double, single, and then a single over here. You advised doing it differently, and you pointed out they have no door on this room because I guess it swings in. So you said, A, add the door back, and then B, adjust the bed situation. What was your recommendation? Because the seller is taking taxidermy and the bunk beds. That's it.
yeah.
Okay.
So the reason this is set up this way is obviously they've got, I think that's a queen. I think it's a twin over a queen. These are great for space, and again, you're not going to want to sleep 8 people in this house. And today it sleeps 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. As a rental, you're not going to want to sleep 8. It's just too many people in here. So what I would do is if they're taking this anyway, I would put either probably a full on this side and move this twin on this side, which gives you more walking space into the room.
When you walk in.
Yep. And then you're already at 6, right? And the cool thing about that is you stay at your occupancy, you don't limit yourself, and the only person sleeping on top of this bunk is going to be a kid. Having the 2 separate beds is a really good idea. The other thing I like about this house is the closets. Whoever did this remodel or did a great job. Look how organized the closet structure is. They didn't try to go overboard with a bunch of hanging space or the cheap plastic stuff. They built in this wood, and these are kits. You can buy these. They're easy to do. I think these are great for organizing things. So in my mind, I'm going, okay, we got hanging space. Awesome. The one thing I would add is one of those, they're pull out for your suitcase. I would add those in here. I'd put one there.
Yep.
I'd put one here, but in the closet for 2 reasons. A, if you have a suitcase and you put them on there, if for some reason they have bed bugs or whatever they're bringing in, those things actually separate things from the floor and from the beds. It's super helpful. The second thing I would say is it just gives people a place to put their stuff when they show up before they get unpacked. This is the full bath. You can see the storage is limited. Well, when possible, never put towels under a sink. Okay. We do it when we have to.
That's the only storage in here.
Correct. And the reason you don't want to do that is if that sink ever leaks and you have towels under there, then all the towels are soaked. You're scrambling. So I always recommend not doing that. Put them on towel racks. You can hang them on hooks or whatever.
Right
but
here.
Yep.
Yeah, there's not a lot. I noticed there's not a lot of places to hang towels.
Correct. So that's why I like that closet. Yep. Every house needs a linen closet to keep extra comforters. So if you're on our program and you do our sheet program, which is an option, we will keep a turn of sheets in the house. And what you want to do is have a place to put those, and you want it locked up. So this is a great place for that. Small house doesn't need a lot of space, so you could have a couple comforters in here, a couple extra sheets, some pillows, some stuff like that. And really, we lock this closet And the reason you lock it is if it's available, people will use it. And so it's not that you don't want them to be comfortable or be able to change their own sheets. It's that you want to monitor that in case they're bringing in extra beds or things that you want. It's one of the ways we limit occupancy when we have an occupancy. So if someone calls me and says, hey, I need 5 more sets of sheets and pillows, I'm like, oh, why? Why do you need that? Well, I'm bringing air mattresses. Well, that's above the occupancy. So you just want to watch that.
Let's go check out the master.
Let's do it.
Which, keeping in mind, it's a 1.5 bath. We already saw the full bath, so this master has just a singular sink and toilet. Yep.
And
Pretty simple.
I would say that's a bit of a drawback because I wish the full was in here versus
Sure.
in there.
Yep.
But just based on the
But
layout.
then again, if you're having to share this with 4 guys, you'd rather the bathroom be in a neutral location.
Sure. And you have your own get up at night
Yeah.
potty. But love that they put the queen in here. This bedroom is super awesome in terms of the view. They've got their own walkout. The light's awesome coming in. The lake view is, stunning. You can see out. I love that you can see all the woods back behind the houses there.
Yep.
It's not always like that, so it's really fun when you can see the natural piece of that. In here, I would say definitely needs some more wall decor because you're taking that deer down. I would add some just really cool facts about the lake here. That's what I would do. Think about the people coming. Something like 40% of the people that show up at this house have never been here before. So the lake has so many cool things, and if anybody's ever Googled what to do at the lake, you could spend hours trying to find the right thing. So I would put in this room, I would put things to do. I would talk about things to do. People love history. They love learning about things that they're going to. They inspire them to go do something outside of the house. Show Haha Tonka, which is a great spot. Talk about Old Kinderhook and how it was there's a whole history there that's awesome, and it's not that far. And imagine yourself, this room, you're coming in here, you put your stuff down, and then you spend 30 minutes walking around. That's what you want. You want people to do that kind of stuff and really enjoy the place. And then this closet, it's great that they've actually got a vacuum because I would leave the vacuum in here. These cheap corded vacuums are the best options. They're easy. If they break, go buy another one. They're cheap to replace. So these are awesome. Second thing to consider, put a pack and play in here. Even a high chair for a kid. Stick it in a closet like this. Remember, it's a rental. They're not taking this whole closet space up. Put some things like that in there. It will change the demographic that you get, and it will definitely broaden you out.
I noticed ironing board as well.
Oh yeah, ironing board. Those are great things. Yep. Even this cooler is if you have cheap coolers, put them in here. Because think about the number of times you went on vacation and were I forgot to pack a cooler. Yeah. Having storage like this,
it matters.
It does. I think a lot of people would say, well, get rid of it. It clutters the room. Yeah, from an aesthetics perspective, it would look a little better if you got rid of it. But think about the storage of someone staying here for 6 days. They could unpack their clothes and put it in here.
My wife likes to unpack her suitcase and put things in things, yeah.
Yeah, I would put a TV in here.
Okay. We're outside now, and we're going to start with the parking for this particular property. Zach, what's your take on this layout, which actually is pretty decent parking for a small house?
It's best case scenario. I think, based on what I can see, you could probably park 5 cars here. But if you're sleeping 6, you don't need 5 cars.
Yeah.
So how would I advertise it? I'd actually advertise it for 3 cars and a trailer. You have 3 wells in a dock. You can pretty much bet that we advertise those 3 wells. You're probably going to get somebody that wants to bring 3 fishing boats or whatever, and they're going to want a place to park their trailer. So obviously 3 cars and 3 boats might be tight, but the reality is you could get 2 trailers and 2 cars here, no problem. So there's 2 entrances. There's this entrance that I came in, and then there's this other one over here where Jeff came in. I would probably dedicate trailer parking on this side because you could pull up and then back your trailer in.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then
this wrap around.
Yep. So you're wrapping up the hill, you're backing your trailer in. You could easily get 2 or 3 trailers right here.
Yeah.
If you knew what you were doing.
Yep.
And then you still have parking here, along this wall, and I think over there in that jut out. So you can get a lot of stuff here. One of the things we get from guests most of the time is, where do I park my trailer? If you have on-site trailer parking, it's a great way to book your place instantly, especially in the off-season, which is where you're going to make your money on this property. The season's going to get you even, but the off-season's where you're going to make ROI.
Awesome. Let's go check out the exterior of the house now. The deck.
Yeah. This is the first appearance someone's going to get. They park their car, they're getting their stuff out. This is the first thing they're going to see. So Jeff, what do you see right now? If you were renting this house, what's the first thing you'd notice?
Leaves.
Yeah, ton of leaves. So I could blow these every day, and every day it would look like this because that's what it's like this time of year.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I would leave a cheap electric blower at the house for the guest. If you don't, they're going to be trying to sweep the deck off every day, right? Obviously, we blow these leaves before they show up, but it could literally happen overnight again. So I'd leave a blower here, and then I'd make sure this time of year that I'm out here blowing the roof down, that I'm getting the stuff out of the gutters. You don't want the gutter problems with the rain, because we get rain this time of year too. Charcoal grills are great and people love them, but from a rental perspective, the easiest thing is a Pit Boss / Traeger like pellet grill.
Like an electric?
Yeah, because it's easy to use. And then you go, well, what about pellets? Okay, we'll keep pellets in a bucket next to it, and it's literally the same price to do pellets as it is to buy a propane tank every week, right? Or 2 weeks. So it's a lot better to just do the pellet grill. And then I would put up some instructions and I would slap them right here on the wall. Like, here's how you use it. Why? Because not everyone knows how to use things. So remember, people are going to judge the house by their eyes, not by logic, in most of the time. Mm-hmm. And so when you're walking this deck, for example, this board is rotting right here. I would change these caps out. You can do whatever you want, but I'd definitely change these caps out. You just don't want anyone to feel unsafe just because there's one little spot, right? Obviously, all this has to be blown and power washed. These chairs are kind of sorted. Obviously, we're just here, but the outside of this house is going to attract a ton of like mold and stuff like that on the vinyl. This all needs to be power washed and cleaned. One thing about this house that I would tell a homeowner is you're going to have to do this probably twice a year. You're going to have to come out and scrub these and power wash these, just because this stuff's going to continue to happen. It's a piece of nature, right? All right, let's go to the dock. Love that there's a concrete pier on the way out. I'm looking at all the electrical from the pole that runs along, and just making sure that there's no, risks for that. A couple things to note. I absolutely love that there's this like sitting area right here in this wall, but you see it's all crumbled up and stuff like that. So you got to be thinking about the liability of that for you and your guests.
Now this water level is really low too.
Correct. And when it's up, it's probably not that big a deal. But right now, you might consider either roping that off or doing something like that, just because you don't really want people to come down these steps. Even if it was full of water, would you really want people walking on it? Probably not.
Yeah.
So it's just a thing to note and think about when you're renting a house.
They got like their own sandy beach here, don't they?
Yeah. Now, like this side's cool. See, they can come right here and sit and hang out. Awesome.
This is a unique feature of a small house like this. It's a unique feature on most houses to have a 3-well dock.
3-well dock is a huge, huge advantage. One of the things that I check all the time are the boards on the dock itself. Are they stable? Are they looking good? These actually look pretty good. There's a couple I'd change out, but only because they're split or whatever. Okay, this has 3 distinct lifts in it. Jeff, how many friends do you have that come to the lake that's never worked a lift here?
Most.
Yeah. So yes, they're advantageous and they're not. So the problem with lifts is that you put them in and people want to use them, but then if they don't know how to use them, you spend all your time trying to teach somebody how to do it, or they do it wrong and they don't treat them right, or they leave the lift down the whole time they're here. That's put strain and stress on your dock. Our recommendation is take the lifts out if you don't need them. If you personally want to use it, totally understand. But from a rental perspective, I would take the lifts out. I'd put big bumpers on the side, put tie downs, those cleats on the side, and I would make it really easy, but I would take the lifts out.
Got it. Because nobody's going to have their boat here for more than a week, probably.
Right, and like try to protect your dock and their boat, but don't worry about the lifts. Jet ski lifts are my exception. The reason is jet skis are really hard to tie up and they go crazy. Yeah. So instead of that lift, I would take that out and put a drive-on in. I would probably put 2 drive-on lifts right here with clips. Those are easy to understand.
Yep.
If a bearing goes out or one of the wheels pops, they're easy to replace. Yeah. I would definitely do drive-on lifts here. And then for this pontoon back here in the backside, because it's a 3-well dock, I might consider leaving this one lift, just because if they rent a pontoon, they could park it here and raise it. So you say, well, why would you do that there and not here? Well, because you have 3 wells. Like if you come in with a fishing boat and you know how to use it, you're going to do it right there. I would probably set this up for boat rentals, and just so they could have them, keep them, and raise them up. You could easily partner with like a breakaway boat rentals and say, hey, when you bring the boat, show them how to use the lift, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be the only exception I might have. Also, I love that they've got the side tie-ups here. Yep, and the cleats. So technically they could park 3 boats here in a jet skis. Yeah. So,
all right, we've toured this house basically top to bottom, parking to dock. It's not a big house, but this was very, very thorough. I have one big question.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should I buy it? Would it be a good investment?
Only you can answer the question, should you buy it, Jeff. But here's what I'd say. The dollars and the money makes sense. Not every house does. I think you could pull home, based on the projections, between $27,000, let's say, and $30,000 a year back in your pocket. The top line rentals in this house are going to be between $45,000 and $50,000, depending on how well we market and drive and execute. Mm-hmm. I think year one, You know, you come on right now, you buy it, takes 4 weeks, we get it onboarded, all the things happen. I think year one, you're looking at taking home between 20 to 22,000 because you're building a business.
And that's before paying the mortgage and the
Yeah, that's after my fees and Airbnb fees.
Okay.
So I think year one, you're taking that home. I think by year three, you're driving hard. Remember that experiences bring guests back, and the whole point is to get guests to come back. So the more you do there, the more you provide, the better experience people are going to have, the more customers you're going to get. So from that perspective, 100%, the numbers make sense. Even at the selling price of the house, all the things you're looking at.
By the way, I think it's important to mention the list price is $395,000 for this house.
So most people want 10% on their money, right? But at Lake of the Ozarks, it's just not a thing. And 10% after all the things you pay, and you have 10% left. If you're getting between 5 to 7%, which is where you're knocking on that door right here, it's a great rental for Lake of the Ozarks. I think you could work your way into that number over time. So I don't think it's a bad investment from that perspective.
Now, there's two things that I'm considering for myself, and this is everybody's going to be a little bit different. The lake is notoriously a Memorial to Labor Day place, although, as you probably know if you follow this channel, that's changing.
Correct.
It's increasing. There's a lot of things happening down here. Now, personally, there's two factors. I want to own near where I live. So I'm away from the action. We're in the Big Niangua. We're very close to Old Kinderhook, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, just because I want proximity. Easy to get to, come here and blow it off, whatever I need to do. Two, I believe that being near Old Kinderhook is an asset for a 365 rental because of golf, and because of all of the activities they have going on throughout the holidays, the ice skating rink, we've got the restaurants that are 365 and the trophy room and Hook Cafe.
Baseball teams.
You've got the baseball facility that's just down in, Max Creek?
Max Creek.
So that's my personal feeling on why I want to be here. If you live in the Gravois Arm, you may not want to own a property down here because it's an hour away. What is your take on that? I know we've talked about this, but I want to rent this thing. Basically, I want to be able to rent it 12 months out of the year.
That's all going to come down to pricing and then what's available in the house. So, the cool thing about 2 bedrooms, so 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, just so we're clear, today, now that might change tomorrow, but today make the same money. And you go, well, I don't understand. Well, 3 bedrooms make higher average daily rent, but 2 bedrooms rent more. Why? Because in the off season, the price is down to a spot where people are going to rent them more. And the second thing is, like, you could buy a 3 bedroom and price it at a 2 bedroom and get the same effect. Like, you could do that. So what's important is that you should listen to your pricing experts. Like, you might go to, in November, December timeframe, excluding Thanksgiving and Christmas, you might get down to $98 a night or $85 a night. Why would I do that? Well, I'm trying to drive a booking through a season when you're making zero. So the one thing to keep in mind about pricing, and everyone gets this confused, the average daily rate is useless to you. It means nothing. It's just the night that someone booked it. There's a number, look it up, it's called RevPAR. RevPAR is the total 365 and what you actually made per night. So let's say you're trying to book this thing out for $150 a night and everyone else is at $99. They're gonna book them first, right? So your RevPAR goes down every night you don't get booked. You want your RevPAR to go up, which is including nights that get missed or unbooked. So that's the number we think about is RevPAR. RevPAR equals ROI. ADR is a vanity metric. It's like, oh, I got to sell it for $200 a night. Sounds cool, doesn't make you money. So look up RevPAR. That's the number you want to focus on. And if we did that in this house, we're going to be booked all the way through November. We'll get December bookings. We have, in fact, my favorite properties right now, as an investor myself, is 2-bedroom houses. Like, they are my favorite at the moment. Yep.
Yeah, I think you lean more, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, so I'm not going to be renting this to a big group, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
No, and you lower your risk of things like big parties and that stuff like that. Like, that's why the big homes can make money, is because you have to allow those types of things. It's one of the biggest mistakes people make is they buy these massive homes and then they go, I don't want any parties.
Yeah.
And you go, well, define a party.
Yeah.
Like, is it just a big group, or is it like, no, nobody wants a rager?
I hate to tell you, there's a lot of bachelor parties and those sort of things that go on here. People come to the lake to have a good time.
That right.
Typically includes drinking and sometimes other paraphernalia.
Sure. And look, you could put rules in place that stop a lot of that, and you just get big groups that respect your home. There's no problem with that. I think the challenge is when you come in and you say, well, I don't ever want a birthday party at my house. It's like, well, you know how many birthday parties I've been to and everything was fine? So let's think about the positive side of that and go, we should allow some of those things with respect to the rules of the house. And let's just set the rules and make them clear. And then if they break them, we either turn that in on insurance, which is why you have SDR insurance, by the way, best thing you could do, or you charge the guest. You go back and say, hey, you need to pay for this thing you damaged. Any world you live in, any money you make is risk. There's a risk in everything. Even having a day job is a risk. So just remember that when you're managing and renting out your house, there is risk to that. But we offset that risk. It's why you hire a management company. Like people don't talk about the 20%. Yeah, it's worth it because someone is lowering your risk in that house. They're letting you know when things are going wrong or when there's a leak that you didn't see, or like we are in these houses. We're cleaning out the counters and the cabinets. We're looking outside. We're blowing the leaves all the time. That's when homeowners find their stuff. It's when we find it. And that's why you want a management company, is that it lowers your liability on the rental. So unless you're here every day, Jeff, which even you living here, you're not gonna be here every day.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I'm busy.
Sure, busy guy.
Yeah. Okay, well, dude, this has been awesome. I hope this has been helpful for you. I think whether you are buying a property at the Lake of the Ozarks or really anywhere, I think this is a useful video for you. Then you probably learned a lot from it, and it's something that I would recommend. I think we tend to lean to our realtors, which I don't necessarily. I'm not advocating to not do that, but it's a different perspective that a real estate agent is going to have. Typically, it's going to be the value of the property, the comps, those sort of things. But when it comes to actually renting your property, these are the people that you need to talk to. And if you're doing this at the Lake of the Ozarks, I obviously highly recommend Grand Welcome. It's who I'm going to use. It's put my money where my mouth is kind of thing. So stay tuned. The next phase is I need to talk to my bank, which I'm going to talk to a local bank, which I'm going to be talking to Concordia. So if you're down here at the Lake of the Ozarks, I highly recommend talking to Concordia. They're a small local bank with big bank resources, so I can do the mobile deposits and things like that. Nice little plug for them. So I need to talk to them, and then I need to consider if I want to write an offer, which might happen within the next week or so. So stay tuned. I'll do an update as things progress, whether I get it or don't. And then if I get it, then we'll obviously continue through this process of redecorating and all this sort of thing. So this will be fun. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, man.